All right, so my business partner, Noah Kent, has one of those fancy Audi R8 sports cars. And while driving it, he once reached 320 kilometers an hour. Now, I've driven this car many times, but I've never even gotten close to that. And the thing is I know exactly what to do. I know that all I have to do is put my foot on the gas. However, I'm afraid of crashing. I'm afraid of getting pulled over. I'm afraid of all these things. And as a result, I've never reached 320 kilometers an hour while driving that car. Now, similarly, most agency owners know exactly what to do to hit $100,000 a month, but fear is what's keeping them stuck. And in this video, I'm going to prove it to you and show you an outlet so you can eradicate that fear from your brain and you can use 2025 to make life-changing amounts of money. So, how many videos have you watched like this one, or courses that you've taken, or maybe programs that you've enrolled in that have shown you how to make more money than you do right now? Now, as much as I'd like to comfort you and say, hey, those guys are just scammers, it's not your fault. That's not true. To provide you some real big brother accountability here, the problem is that you're just afraid to do what you know deep down you need to do in order to hit your first $100,000 a month. And what if I told you that scaling your agency to $100,000 a month or beyond is as simple as making one bold decision that you already know you haven't made yet because you're too afraid to make? Because let's face it, if you're watching this video, you're probably an agency owner. You're probably making some money with your agency. You've signed a few clients, but you're scared to really run ads or invest more than like $30, $40 a day in ads. You're scared to make a bold offer because you don't know if you'll be able to deliver results. And instead, you're sitting here playing it safe, blending in with every other agency that exists on the market today. So you continue to try and create these watered down offers that nobody gives a shit about. You avoid putting any real money into advertising, and you can convince yourself that playing it small and playing it safe is strategic. I'm being smart business. And I get it. It's a terrifying fear to have. And I know this because I had the same one. For 2 whole years when I was running my first agency, Wilson Media, I was stuck between 15 and 20K per month, constantly trying new watered down offers and offering every service delivery in the book. And the most frustrating thing about it that pissed me off was when I would see guys who I knew I was smarter than them. I knew I got better results than them. I knew I had better service delivery than them, but they were making 3, 4, 5, 10 times the amount of money I was, and I didn't make any sense. And so I'm making this video for the earlier version of myself, who I know so many of you guys are in that situation. And the first thing that I want you guys to know is fear is not the enemy. Fear is the sign that you're on the right track. If you have fear, it means that you're pushing. It means that you're in a situation where you're about to grow. But if you're not having any fear, and if you're staying comfortable, and if you continue to go with these watered down offers and all that kind of stuff, to me, that means you're comfortable. To me, that means you're not pushing hard enough. And to me, that is where your business is going to die. And the other paradigm shift that I need to give you, which I learned as I continue to grow my business, is that these agencies that are scaling to $100,000 a month, $200,000 a month, or whatever it is that you see online, they're not fearless, right? They're just acting despite the fear, because to them, they understand and they know that the real risk isn't failing, because you can always pick yourself up. You can always run another ad. You can always save up a little bit more money and then try ads again. The real failure is if you stay stuck, because if you don't grow, you're dying. Because imagine this, you make an offer so good that you know it is going to convert. Like right now, if you asked yourself, like, would I buy my own offer? The answer is probably no. Right? But now you've made an offer that you know is so good. And if you want any resources or help with this, I'll link a video in the description below to show you how to create an irresistible offer. You run ads, you sign a client. And then maybe if you are a little, like, this fear is still bugging you, right? Well, just take that payment that they give you and set it aside. Right? So imagine this, you make an offer so good that you know it will convert. Because I bet if I asked you, would you buy your own offer right now? You would say no. Right? Because it's a safe offer. It's an offer that puts all the risk in your client, doesn't put any risk into you. But now, and I'll link a video below if you want to see step-by-steps how to create an irresistible offer. But now that you've made this irresistible offer, you decide to put some money in ads, and it doesn't feel like a gamble because you know the offer's so good. You're going to get leads, you're going to book calls, and you're going to convert. Now, you do sign a client, but to play it a little bit safe, to add a little bit of a safety net, you put the payment aside in case it doesn't work. And if it does, well, guess what? you're 10 steps ahead of where you are right now. And if it doesn't, you simply refund them with the money that you've set aside and you move on. Either way, you learned a lesson and you're closer to success. Now, what does it look like to create one of these standout offers? Well, a great offer doesn't just compete with the market, it absolutely dominates the market. It's so compelling that your prospect can't say no. It solves a problem that they can't ignore, and it has terms in it that just seem to them like an absolute no-brainer. And that is like the simplest way to put it. Right now, if your offer doesn't have all those key character traits in it, you probably need to go back to the drawing board and make an offer like that, right? Now, as I said earlier, in the first link in the description, I'm going to link a full training on how to create these irresistible offers for you. But couple cliff notes here is the first thing is that you want to make it specific, and ideally it's specific to the biggest dream outcome that they have. So don't promise leads, don't promise appointments, but promise actual clients, job listings, whatever the dream outcome that your client is actually pursuing. That is where we want to make the guarantee about. Now, a little trick that you can do is that if you're only in control of, let's say, setting appointments, you can still guarantee clients, for example. All you have to do is just add a little stipulation in the contract that says that they have to close at least 10%. Then so long as you book them, 50 appointments over a 90-day period, you can guarantee them 5 clients. Now, the next element is to reduce as much risk as possible for the client, right? So whether we're offering a performance base or we're offering a full money back guarantee, or if you have an offer like we do, where we give you a refund and then we pay for all the expenses of your agency until you meet that dream outcome, right? When you put into situations like that, then you really reduce the risk of your client to create an offer that not just competes, but dominates your market. And then the last thing is to make sure that it's outcome focused. So this goes hand in hand with what I was saying earlier, but we don't want to just offer appointments or leads. Your client should know exactly what they're going to get, right? Because if we just offer qualified appointments, your client's going to be sitting there thinking, well, how do I know if it's qualified? What's the difference if qualified? What if they don't close? How do I know they will close? All that kind of stuff. But instead, if we say, hey, we'll get you 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever the number is, number of clients, listings, applications, whatever that case may be, now they'll know exactly what they're going to get. Now that you've made an offer like this, if I'm the current version of myself speaking to the older version of myself, the next thing I would say is just say, fuck it, man up and run ads. Because yes, you can scale to 10, 20, 30K a month through cold calling, cold emailing, or DMs. But if you really want to scale to $100,000 a month, if you really want to do everything that you say that you want to do, there's only 2 acquisition channels that I've seen that have allowed people to get there quickly. One is organic content and the other is paid ads. Now, organic content, you can get there quickly, but that only happens after you've put in the time to build up your brand and build up a huge organic following. And on the flip, if you don't already have that, ads is the quickest and easiest way to get there, right? Now, some of you guys may think, well, what if it doesn't work? Like, if I spend $3,000 a month on ads and that's not how ads work. Ads aren't about gambling. They're about testing. So you can start with a small budget. You can refine your messaging. You can refine your offer. And then you just simply let the data guide you. You can begin to have actionable data after just $200-$300 spent on ads. You can analyze which ads have the highest click-through rate, which ads have gotten the most leads. From there, you can cut the losers. You can double down on the winners. And this allows you to effectively scale ads while minimizing your risk. And also, we have to think about like best case and worst case scenario here, right? Like worst case scenario, we spend a few grand on ads and it doesn't work. Best case scenario, we crack the code on paid acquisition. We have a machine that consistently we put in $1, we get back $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20 in return, and we have clients coming to us on autopilot. Now, I don't know about you, but if you are just so stuck on the idea that ads are a gamble, well, that's a gamble I'd be willing to take. And if you want more insights as to how to set up, scale, run, write copy, all that kind of stuff, I have a whole bunch of videos on how to scale paid ads. Just check out my channel and you can watch them there. Now, the last thing that I want to hit on is that safety net, right? This is probably the easiest way to do this without having any fear. And it's just like I said earlier, right? You go in and you sign that first client. Let's say you collect a 5K, a 10K, a 15K upfront, right? Then you take that money, or you take as much money of that as possible, and you set it aside. You don't spend it. You don't take your girlfriend out to dinner with it. You don't do anything with it, right? And that can serve as your insurance, because then you go through the 90-day, the 180-day period, whatever it is, and you service your client. And if it works, amazing. You made money, you have a case study, and you get to keep the money. And if it doesn't work, well, there's your insurance. You can just pay back the client the money that they gave to you and you set aside for them. So this is the easiest way to crack the code on your acquisition for your new irresistible offer while absolutely minimizing the risk on your end. And with this strategy, it allows you to finally take that bold action, that one thing that you know you should be doing to get you to where you want to be, but you haven't been doing it, without losing sleep. Because in this case, you're not risking your business, you're not risking your money, you're simply just investing your time into it. So that right there is what I wish I knew a few years ago when I was stuck at like this 15, 20K a month mark, seeing people dumber than I was hit $100,000 a month and beyond. It starts by taking that bold action that you know you should be doing, but you haven't, and making that offer, not to compete with your market, but to absolutely dominate your market. And then using the strategies that I shared with you in this video, minimize your risks to ensure that you can learn to deliver those results on that offer without putting yourself at massive financial risks. So hope you guys got value out of this video. I appreciated making it for you guys. If you have any questions about this, just leave a comment below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.